Hey, welcome back to the Big Red Zone. We are very excited for today's show. We got a very special guest. Steve from Small State Big Takes is here. We're going to talk about the NFL, make our picks of the week, and we're going to talk about the 3 toughest championships in NBA history. All that and more on this week's episode of the Big Red Zone. Welcome to the podcast. This is the Big Red Zone. I'm your host, Big Red. As always, I'm joined by Danny Football and producer John.
Yo.
And a reminder, you can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Big Red Zone. You can also find us on YouTube. Just typing in Big Red Zone. Hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. Leave a review on Apple Podcast Review and tell a friend. Tell a friend. I told a friend, and he's coming on the podcast today, Steve Scott from Small State Big Takes. I was on a couple weeks ago, and great podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is fantastic.
Our brothers to the south.
Our brothers to the south.
Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
So, Steve, how's everything going? It's been a few weeks since we've seen each other, or virtually seen each other.
Yeah, it's going well. Same old. Nothing's really changed. Just trying to navigate this COVID life. But things are cool.
I hear you. Staying on the grind.
How about you guys? How you guys been?
Pretty good. I'm excited. I coach high school basketball, so we're starting up this week. So I'm very excited to get back into that. A lot of like different guidelines that we got to follow, obviously, this year. But I'm excited and can't wait to get into some kind of normalcy, even though it's not normal, but some kind of normalcy.
That's good that you guys are having a season.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for the kids because they missed the spring season. They didn't miss basketball last year, but I'm happy they're going to be able to get to play.
Yeah, good.
Danny Football is rocking the Santa hat today.
I'm ready to go, baby. Ready to go. I was going to say my rec league soccer is clinging to life, so I'm still a washed up athlete right now.
Nice. I just coach it. I don't really play that much.
I coach when I'm on the sideline. When they sub me out.
Danny Football is I don't think we've mentioned on the pod. He's a championship intramural coach.
I am. I won the C League, the lowest tier intramural basketball league.
Wore a suit to every game.
That's what I'm talking about.
I can't play basketball, but boy, can I coach.
Move over, Brad Stevens.
What's your favorite play? Mine's the 3-man weave.
Dude, I always ran a triangle, so I just let my boys do the work.
Hey, that seems to be successful. It's won a few championships in its day.
A couple.
Get that Phil Jackson, Jackson pass.
I'm under that Phil. I'm part of his coaching tree.
There you go.
What you watched?
I watched a couple of Lakers games, and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah. Very action-packed episode today. As we mentioned, we're gonna have weekend recap, talk about the NFL. We're excited. We finally get to do 2 minutes for roughing.
We're back, baby.
Danny Football's back
Steve,
for his 2
other
minutes.
Steve, are you a URI guy or a Providence College guy?
Oh, you or I all the way.
Okay, good.
Let's go. Thank God. Whew.
Danny Football's a big UMASS Lowell guy. So born and raised, not born and raised, but he was.
They have a lot of my money.
He has a lot.
They have a lot of my money.
So, without further ado, let's get into our first segment of the night, weekend recap. It's the weekend recap. All right, so for first segment of weekend recap, we're talking about the Bills-Steelers game. And let me tell you something. I think the Steelers are the biggest frauds.
They're
the biggest frauds in the NFL. Starting off 11-0, and they were the worst 11-0 team in the league, I have to say. Blew a tough one against the Bills. The Bills are a good team. They're for real, but I was expecting a little more.
Ooh, almost said it. Washington football team last week.
Washington football team. Get it right.
Almost.
Get it right. They lost.
They almost lost to the frickin' Ravens with RG3. I mean, they're the phonies.
They've been getting by on the skin of their teeth, man.
Yeah, forever.
They're frauds. They are frauds. Looking at their last few games, like if you take away the Jaguars game, which they should win, like there's a bunch of games in here. Like they almost lost to the Cowboys. They they almost lost to the Ravens twice. Once without Lamar, once with Lamar. Almost lost to the Titans. The Browns they blew out. Almost lost to the Texans. Almost lost to the Eagles earlier in the season too.
Yikes.
So.
But starting to catch up with them, man.
So it's like it's
luck's starting to run out.
The one thing I will say is Josh Allen, unbelievable.
My boy, White Lightning.
He is unbelievable. Couldn't do it last week. We were talking about it last week in the fantasy football playoffs. I needed Danny Football to come out on top, and he could not do it.
It's just poetic at this point.
We have a side wager on our consolation bracket. We have a chocolate milkshake on the
From where
on the line. Peaceful Meadows. You ever been to? You're a Rhode Island guy.
Yeah.
Peaceful Meadows is a fine establishment in this.
Fine establishment.
In the East.
Is it a chain or is it one thing?
It's one thing, but they have a couple stores. Like it's not like a chain around. I wouldn't call it a chain, but there's
it's
like
a farm.
a couple.
They have cows.
It's a farm. They have a couple cows. It's a farm. Well,
The
not really.
milk.
They got rid of the cows.
Damn.
Oh.
They import the cows. But we have
the Steelers.
But the Steelers, get back to the Steelers. It definitely, and the other thing I have is it hurts the playoffs chance for the Patriots. Not that we'll get into it in a little bit. Not that I feel too confident after this week, and I think Steve is a big tank for a draft pick. This right? You're a tank guy, right?
Personally, I know my podcast but people in my podcast group, Twitter are. Me personally, I was kind of rooting for them to win. How about that? I have a hard time, dude. I just can't root for my team to lose. It's the weirdest shit.
I'm right with you, dude. It's tough.
You're among friends here. We're a winners podcast.
All right, let's go. I love to hear it because on my own podcast, I get, you know what? Shout out to my boys. I wish and if they're listening to this, sorry, but you don't fucking. They want them to tank out. And you know what? I obviously this team is not going to go anywhere. But I mean, what's the difference between a pick in the 11 to 18 range, or from like the 7 to 10 range? I think they should still try to win. Like they still should have tried to win.
Yeah.
This point.
I mean, at this point, that's where I stand. We've already gone this far. We might as well try to make a little run.
Right.
If we were like 3 and whatever, then I'm saying, all right, now you have a chance to get a top 5 pick.
And we only have 3 games left at this point. It's not really. You play
the Jets,
right?
So you're gonna win at least one, probably. You're
gonna finish near 500, so you're gonna get a middle of the pack pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Regardless. They are out though, right? It's over, right?
No, they're not officially.
No,
out.
They need a lot of things to go their way. I think the Bills need to lose 2 of 3. The Raiders need to lose 2 of 3, and someone else needs to lose out or something like that. There's a bunch of scenarios.
Technically, I don't think they have to really worry about because if the Bills win the division, they win the division. They need to I think they're still in play for a wild card, and I think they're still in play for the division. They need a couple things to happen for the Bills. Yeah, if they win, they need to win out. They need the Bills to lose like 2 or 3 of their last. They either have to lose 2 or lose out. And then for the Dolphins have to lose another one if we have to beat them, obviously. And then we go ahead of them. We're very close. There's a lot of things that need to happen, but it starts with we have to win out and then let the chips fall where they may.
Hey, I'll tell you what, dude, they look pretty serious.
Say again?
The Dolphins. I'm starting to believe a little bit more in the Dolphins than I ever did before. Tua looks pretty good.
I'm not a big.
Steve's a borderline Tua guy.
Yeah, I'm a borderline Tua guy.
Some weeks he loves him. Some weeks he's a little off the train.
Yeah, I didn't really. I kind of liked what I saw. I wasn't a big fan of him. I don't know. I'm the jury's still out on Tua, but who's the jury's not out on?
Say
the podcast favorite quarterback in the draft.
Say it.
Jalen Hurts time.
There it is.
Jalen
Hurts time, baby.
Arrived.
I love this guy. Love this guy.
Huge upset over the Saints. Unbelievable game. I thought the Saints had it at the end when I thought they got that onside kick. But holy cow, Jalen Hurts.
Game to play, baby. That's the gamer I know.
I talked to an Eagles fan actually, and he's not really sold on Jalen Hurts. He's actually on the same opinion of Danny Football. He thinks they're going to trade one of the two quarterbacks for as much value as you can, either Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts, which I can see that happening. I mean, they have two guys, like, they're stuck right now. Like, Jalen Hurts, they just drafted and he looks pretty good. One game, but he looks pretty good. And they got all this money tied up in Carson Wentz, who's pretty good, but I think he needs a new, fresh start. I mean, what do you do? Like,
I think they're screwed. I think in a good way they have Hurts. I think Hurts is the guy to build off of, but Wentz, dude, that money is not going anywhere. He is handcuffed to that team.
Yeah, they can't get rid of him, like, unless they trade him. Like, they can't just cut him, and that's the scary part of that. So you're either gonna have to try to find a team and get like no value for him. But I mean, I guess if you get rid of the contract, that's something. But I have a feeling it's going to be very hard for them to get that contract off of. Jalen Hurts, on the other hand, I think they'll be able to trade for a top pick in the draft. Maybe you go draft a offensive lineman, like a top offensive lineman. Maybe you go draft some weapons on the outside. I don't know. Maybe you can draft something for Carson Wentz for like trading away Jalen Hurts. But I don't know. I really like him. I really like Jalen Hurts.
I love Hurts. I loved him back in college too.
Alabama, man, preach it. Absolutely, yeah. There it is.
Yeah, Alabama and Oklahoma too. He was unbelievable last year in Oklahoma.
That's where we fell in love with him in college. That was on the podcast. That was our Patriots
pipe dream.
Heir to the throne was Jalen Hurts. But they drafted him way too early. Like There's drafted
a glimmer of hope though. If they're gonna shop him, man, we have plenty of picks to give them.
Absolutely. And the other thing I have is the NFC East is getting hot. It's getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. Watch out for that division, damn.
Washington football team getting hot. Everyone.
Cowboys, my boy, Red Rifle got a win.
Red Rifle got the win. Eagles with Jalen Hurts seem to have some life. The Giants, which is a fun they lost last week, but they're right in it with Danny Dimes. And
it's ridiculous. I know it. They are. They're in it. They're in the conversation right now, which is wacky.
You know, it's crazy. This team, the Cowboys, is 4-9, and they have a shot to win the division. Isn't that crazy? Washington. You know what's even crazier? Washington football team may win the division. I like them the most out of that group, but
I hope they do. I'm actually rooting for the Washington football team, man.
Yeah, that would be a good story. You know, maybe that's all it took was changing their name. Now they're going to win a championship.
Then the Cleveland team. Sorry,
Cleveland. Now is that what they're going to do now? The Cleveland baseball team. They're just going to start making it like, just name it the Cleveland baseball team.
Then the Chiefs become the Kansas City football team, and the Blackhawks.
The Chicago hockey team.
Yeah,
they should just start naming it based on like.
That's what they do over in England, dude. For all the soccer teams, it's just the city and then the football team or football club.
I think that's smart. Screw it. Who needs a mascot?
Who needs a mascot? Some of these are stupid mascots anyway. Like, what is what was it? UMass. Well, this isn't professional, but there's a college that's their mascot. I think we talked about it last week.
Yeah, UMass Boston are the Beacons.
Is the Beacons? They're the lighthouses.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well just be the Boston team.
The Boston team. The Boston College team.
Boston College. Well, that's a school.
No,
that's actually
UMass Boston and then sport team.
Yeah, that's all you have to say. I'd go with that. I think that's smart.
Beacons. I want to see their mascot, because if you could make it look cool, that'd be all about the Beacons.
They make it sound cooler with Beacons instead of saying it's the UMass Boston lighthouses. That sounds kind of lame, but
I see it.
The Beacon.
It looks like a blue crayon.
The blue crayons. I think
it's a wild team.
Yeah.
Talking about a wild team. See that segue, Danny? Football. Wow.
Great.
I'm
on. Getting to the New England football team now.
The New England football team, or what? I don't get it. I really don't. To come off a couple big weeks, mainly looking at the Chargers, which was a very good football team. The record doesn't show it because they blow a lot of leads at the end, but that's a very good football team. And we just annihilated them. And now we get annihilated on Thursday Night Football. I just don't get it. I mean,
I feel like this has just been the theme of the season, man. Like they string together a couple impressive wins. We're feeling good. We're seeing some hope, and then they just come crashing back down to earth.
it's like
They can't string it together. It's just peaks and valleys all season.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Cam looked pretty bad. Jared Stidham got in there for a couple plays, but it's not enough. I just feel like you have to roll until we are officially out. I want to roll with Cam, and I sound crazy for saying it, but I think he gives you the best shot to win. With that said, once we're out, I want a week full of Jared Stidham preparing as the number one quarterback. We're looking at week 17 against the Jets, and we're out. Give Jared a chance. That's what's the worst that can happen? He's going to go in against a terrible football team that's playing for the number one pick. It may be a confidence builder going into next year if this is indeed your guy. If you don't go out and draft a quarterback or go sign a quarterback.
Right.
But as the time being, I'm still on the I'm still start Cam Newton. I think he's the best quarterback in that room right now. As crazy as it is to say.
How about for next year? What's your plan for do you have an ideal quarterback situation for next year?
Oh, do I have an ideal quarterback situation?
He has a couple
situations. These are my really reach quarterbacks, okay? I don't know if this is going to happen, but if it happens, it would be sick. So this is kind of top shelf quarterbacks I think are going to be on the move. Dak Prescott. I'd love to give Dak a chance at quarterback. I think he's going to get cheap after the injury.
How cheap we talking? How cheap?
I mean,
what would you give him that you'd be okay with without hampering this team? Or if you want to hamper the team, 40, 50 million a year. I don't know.
I wouldn't give him crazy money. I would give him, a 4 or 5 year deal. I don't know,
man.
20
a year,
20 to 30. Yeah.
To 30. Oh,
geez. 20, 25 million a year. I believe in Dak Prescott. I really do. I think
I believe in him. I just don't know about that knee now.
Right. I mean, I know that's a tough thing, but
and then we're seeing what's happening with Cam is we couldn't look at Cam in the offseason, and he's looking banged up.
Yep, well, you're right about that.
Maybe you give him the 1 or 2 year. Give him a Darrelle Revis deal.
That would probably be my ideal scenario, is give him a prove-it deal.
My problem is with that is Dak's so young. If we give him the prove-it deal and then he leaves after next year, it's just putting a Band-Aid on the situation, because if he plays out his contract and it's huge, then you're screwed, because now you have to go find a new quarterback next year.
Right.
I want to get him some years in. And you got to take a gamble. We have so much cap space going into next year. Mm-hmm. So I want to take the gamble with a quarterback just so we don't have to worry about, because we've seen what's happened. Our team is pretty decent. And the wide receiver room and the tight end room is pretty light, but the quarterback room is a main problem. And I think we need to figure that out, and then we can start adding around the quarterback, because we don't know what we have. We've said all year, Cam is not the guy for the future. So what are we building? So we gotta find a quarterback for the future, and Dak, I feel like, could be that quarterback for the next 5, if his knee's healthy, 5 to 10 years. I really do. I believe in Dak Prescott a lot. The other guy that I think, and this is a crazy thought, is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is I think, he's having a crazy year, so maybe they're not as quick to move on from him. But back when the draft happened, I thought with drafting Jordan Love, I thought that's their quarterback of the future. Within the next few years, they're going to try to trade him, get rid of Aaron.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That take is kind of run its course now that Aaron Rodgers, I think, is going to be the MVP this year. I don't think they're going to just get rid of Aaron Rodgers this year.
No. They'll get 2 years, I think, behind Rodgers. Jordan Love will. Then he'll just ease into it, and they'll let Rodgers go, I think.
Yeah. And the other guy, I think this is more realistic. And I think Danny Football said it before, is Jameis. I think Jameis Winston is a...
He'd be cheap.
Did you say
He'd
that
be
one?
cheap.
I think he was one of my more like affordable options.
Yeah, I think that's more of a realistic option, and maybe you give him another 1-year deal and give it like a Cam deal. It just doesn't solve the problem. We need to either draft someone in this draft or sign a Jameis and see what happens. But I don't know. There's a couple quarterbacks that could be on the move. My ultimate that's kind of gone away after he signed the extension was Deshaun Watson. After they tried to trade. After they traded Hopkins, I was like, man, they may have a chance that they're blowing it up, Watson, but he just signed his death warrant on the that was terrible. That was a terrible move by him. But I don't know. I know for one thing, I don't think it's going to be Cam, and I don't think it's going to be Jared. I don't think they're going to be the quarterbacks next year. So
I have a question for you. I have two options for you. Yeah. Would you rather have Jameis or Cam at the same amount of money? And so say 2 years, $8 million a year. Would you rather have Cam or Jameis on that contract?
Jameis.
Okay. Younger. He threw the most picks in probably league history, but he also threw the most touchdowns in the league a year ago. So, and granted, he has 2 all-pro wide receivers on his team, but at the same time, I would be happy. I
think that's something Belichick could fix too.
Yeah, I think the picks thing he could work on, but I 100% would rather Jameis than Cam.
Okay, and how do you guys feel about Matthew Stafford potentially?
Ooh,
I love Matty Stafford.
I hear he's a little banged up.
Yeah.
He's been through the ringer a little bit.
Well, here's a free agent coming up, I think. Word around town.
So is Matty Ice. We talked about Matty Ice a couple weeks ago.
Matty Ice is another guy, too. The Falcons. I would love Matty Ice to come here, too, man. That's another guy I would have no problem. He's a veteran guy. He's been in the league for a while. I feel like he's a bridge guy, too. That's not the answer, but I think you got at least, instead of Cam with 1 year of barely making it by, I think you got at least 2 years out of Matty Ice.
Yeah.
And Stafford, dude, I love him. I pick him in all my fantasy leagues just for the fact I love him as a player. Ever since I saw that, you ever see that clip of when he dislocated his shoulder and still came in and threw a game-winning touchdown or something like that?
No, I have not seen that.
He dislocated his non-throwing shoulder on a play. He came out and they called a timeout, and then he was like, "Oh, there's a timeout, I can play." And then he ran back out, threw a game-winning touchdown, and
no way.
That's favorite clip I ever seen in football, and he's now one of my favorite players.
Against the Browns? Let's see here. Yeah.
I forget. Was it against the Browns?
Yeah. Game-winning pass to Brandon Pettigrew. Remember him?
Dude.
That's a lion. That's a lion for you.
Yeah. Blast from the past. I don't know. I would love Matt Stafford. I would be totally fine with that. Here's a random question for you.
Yeah.
Would you guys be okay with, because Steve Belichick has been calling the play call. He's been the offensive coordinator. He's not the defensive coordinator, but he's calling the plays. Would you be okay or want a reunion with Matt Patricia?
No.
As the defensive coordinator?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No. Yeah, no. I'll say.
Do not want that guy back.
Hard no. Hard pass.
He blew that Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl for us against the Falcons.
Oh my word!
I heard someone asking "Oh, should we take Matt Patricia back as a defensive coordinator?"
Damaged goods.
Yeah, it was. I think he's proven in the last few years that he is not a good.
No, he's trash.
Hey, how do you feel about this theory? What if I have a theory going around right now? Yeah. What if Bruce Arians gets fired, McDaniels leaves to be the Bucs?
I've heard that before. Where have I heard that?
Where we heard that before? Thank you. Love it. Thanks.
Here we go.
I've been preaching that for a month, a few weeks now. What episode did we call that? I called that. I said I want to get this out here before
genius.
Start talking.
3 weeks ago,
fucking maybe? Genius.
I was like, I want to get this out. I think it is. It was when it was so much tension between Bruce Arians and Tom. I feel like Josh could be a coach of the future, someone to go post Brady. but he's also the perfect coach for Brady's year because you only got one more year of Brady. Like you're not going to sign him to an extension, I don't think.
Yeah.
So you're going to go all in next year. So I think he's the guy to do it. I really do. And, everyone gives him a hard time about his play calling. Sometimes you may not agree with it, but you can't argue with what he's done here. And I think he would be a good coach down with Tom and like pretty much all the other Patriots that have played in the last 5 years. So I'm right there, Steve. I 100% could see it.
Sweet. The only thing I see wrong with that is because I love the idea that I think it could happen. The only thing I think that McDaniels wouldn't do it for, I think that this is conspiracy Steve right here is thinking that I think that McDaniels has been promised by Belichick when he leaves, the team is McDaniels's. I think he'll be the next head coach.
I feel like we've been hearing that for like 20 years now. It's like they keep saying like, hey, don't worry about it. When I retire, the team is yours. Don't worry when I retire. It's like with Tom for the last 20 years. Don't worry. If you take a pay cut, we'll get you that all-pro wide receiver. Don't worry about it. It's like it's all empty promises. Yeah. Bill's going to coach for the next 2 years, I think. 2 to 3.
That's it?
I mean, he's going to be 70. He's going to be 70. What is it? He's going to have a heart attack on the sideline.
Romeo Cornell still coaching. 73.
Dude, Romeo Cornell shouldn't be coaching. The only reason he got it is because Billy O got canned.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to coach much past 70. To be honest,
Belichick?
like I feel like he'll want to like step back. But it could be 3 years. I think 2 to 3 years is like probably the window for him. And I don't think he wants to leave the team in shambles. I think that's maybe what we'll get another year out of him. If they're like another year like this next year, I guarantee he's not going to retire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because he doesn't want his legacy to be like he left the team like to die. You know what I mean? I think he wants to leave it on the up, But
I think he goes out at 75. How about that one?
75?
75. I think, dude, he's still in, like, he can still
wheel him out?
They're going to wheel him out. He'll wheel himself out.
From the box. He can coach from the box.
Absolutely. As long as he can still walk.
If Joe Paterno can coach football games, Bill Belichick can.
There you go.
I guess that's true. I guess he could coach from the box. I don't know. That would be. I would be shocked if he's coaching at 75. I'd be shocked. But who knows? Never say never. But the last 3 games, I mean, it's going to be an interesting 3. I know a lot of people have given up hope and want them just to, don't really care. I still believe these 3 games are very winnable games. I think, you already beat Miami, and like I said, it depends on the Tua you get. And Bill Belichick's record against rookie quarterbacks is still immaculate, as we've seen after the Herbert game. I have no faith in the Jets, so I think they could at least. I think those 2 games are winnable. And you're gonna play Buffalo at home. I give the Patriots a chance in that game. So I still think they can win out. It's gonna be tough with the Bills. And it's going to be tough to make a playoffs, but I still think there's a small glimmer of hope. And maybe that's just, I like being disappointed. So maybe
me too. I like having hope, and then just get my dreams shattered. That's my favorite.
Boys. We're not used to this late in the season.
Yeah. It's just
usually we have something locked up by now.
Yeah, this is kind of been bullshit. Right.
And we win the division like 3 weeks ago. So this is definitely strange.
What's your team if the Patriots don't make it, which is very likely?
I'm going with the Browns, dude. I kind of want to see them win.
Yeah?
That'd be awesome. I don't think they're going to win at all. I really don't. I don't think they have enough juice.
Do we want to use that as a segment to the next
the picks of the week?
Yeah.
Danny Football, been on it. Been on the game.
I'm on top of it, baby.
Let's go.
He's been on the game for a little bit now, and he's like a seasoned vet. He's a seasoned vet. Let's get into it. Let's get into the next segment of the night, picks of the week. Picks of the week.
All right, Big Red, pick that ball up and go again.
All right. So picks of the week. I'm gonna. You know what? You reminded it. I want to let you take it. I'm giving you.
I'm on a bad stretch, dude.
You are on a serious losing
I'm on a
streak, my
bad
friend.
stretch. It's a good thing we're not a betting podcast, but
I wish we put money on this.
I'm gonna get a win here. We're gonna go Bills over Broncos, foolproof. Josh Allen can't possibly lose to the Broncos, can he?
No.
He can't possibly do it. So I'm gonna go Bills over Broncos and try and get myself to 500 before the season's over.
I like it. So my game is still to be played. I got the silent but violent Browns over the Ravens tonight. We'll see how that goes. I need a big day out of you for Nick Chubb.
Oh, yep, me too.
And I need a terrible day from Lamar Jackson. So I really hope that pick stays true. Like a little Justin Tucker day. But, hey, what are we going to do? I'm going to go with they took a tough loss last week. I think they're going to bounce back. I'm not going to go with any layup team like a certain podcast host over there.
I need it.
I'm going to go Saints over Chiefs.
Wow. Saints over Chiefs. All right.
Wow.
Love it.
I'm a big Saints guy. They had a tough loss against a terrible, but it was Jalen Hurts, so I can't complain. I think well earned. But I don't know. The Chiefs almost were looking terrible against the Dolphins. So, hey, maybe they lose to a better team. Who knows?
You've nailed the Saints picks all season.
I've picked the Saints now 3 times. 2 of them have so far been wins. We'll see if the third one comes out on top. Steve, do you have a pick of the week?
Yeah, let's see here. I'm going to go with this might be it's too easy. I was going to say Titans over Lions, but that's obvious. I'm going to go with all right. Big take here, maybe. I say Chargers over Raiders.
Okay.
All right.
Divisional game, divisional.
Raiders are trying to make a playoff run. I like it.
They're trying, and I think that Herbert is legit. And I like the Chargers right now. So, you know what? Even though they got their asses handed to them by the Patriots last week or whatever, I'm still into the Chargers, man.
I'm with you.
Yeah. So
I'm with you. I love Justin Herbert.
Battlefield play.
On that note, we're going to segue right into waiver pickup of the week. I'm going with Tim Patrick, wide receiver for the Broncos. He's rostered in 20.3% of leagues. He had 3 receptions, 36 yards, and a touchdown. He's scored double-digit fantasy points in 8 out of the 13 weeks he's played. And one of those weeks he had an undrafted free agent wide receiver throwing to him. So you take that out. It's really 8 for 12 of having double-digit fantasy points. I think he's a great stash/flex play. He's getting you double digits. So Drew Lock seems to like him, and he's had 6 TDs this season. So that's a lot of fantasy points right there. So do yourself a favor, pick up Timmy Patrick.
All right, I think for the first time in waiver pickup history, I'm going back-to-back with Jalen Hurts, baby. 8.9.
Double down.
Last week.
Wow.
This week he's 8.9. Hey, man, 2 quarterback leagues, or if you're in a keeper league, stash him, see what happens with once in the offseason, and worst-case scenario, he's a 16th-round pick.
If you haven't picked up Jalen Hurts yet,
this dude's
you need to pick
gamer,
him up.
man. He's a gamer. He can do it. Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Steve, you got a waiver for us?
Yeah, I got a deep one. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is a guy that I would pick up if I was in this certain league that I like him in. PPR kind of guy. His name is Lynn Bowden Jr. on the Dolphins.
All right. I saw him pop up.
He's owned by 1% of leagues.
I love it.
He's like a Cordero Patterson type where he's wide receiver and running back eligible. He played 78% of snaps last week for the Dolphins, and he led the team in routes and snaps altogether. Let's see. He had 82 yards. I think he has a high ceiling against the Patriots, especially because of PPR.
Love it. I love that pickup.
Thank you.
That's our waiver and picks of the week. We'll see. We've hit on a bunch of these.
We've been pretty good on the waiver picks.
Danny Football's been a little less than stellar on picks of the week, but he makes up for it on
waiver pickups. I'm solid.
He's solid. He's got some solid waiver pickups. We got some rapid fire questions for you. I think some of these, Steve, we've already hit on, but
yeah,
real quick answers, and we'll see what you got. Should the Pats pack it in this season?
No, absolutely not.
Who is your quarterback of the future?
See, I don't think we asked him this. We gave our takes, but I don't know if he really gave us his.
This is a good question.
For me, I'm hoping for a guy in the draft.
Ooh.
Hopefully it's Zach Wilson or someone like that. But if not, and I have to pick someone from free agents right now, or like via trade, I'm hoping for. I'll say Jameis for right now. I'll say Jameis.
Sure. I think it's very realistic. I think
if you're going to go draft, Ian Book's my guy.
Yeah. Where's he from?
Notre Dame.
Okay.
Big Ian Book guy. Day football. I mean, he's hit on Jalen Hurts, so I guess you got to trust it.
You know what? No, you know what? I have a guy I really actually would like. Maybe if it was possible, it'd be Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. I think
I would love him. Oh my God, I'm a Buckeye fan, and if they end up throwing him to the scrap heap, I know Ron Rivera doesn't believe in him. I would just bring him my way, man. I'd build my team around him. Fuck it.
Damn.
I'd take a chance on him. That's a great one.
Thank you.
How long is Bill going to be here? We kind of already said that. You think he's going to play coach
till 75?
75. All right.
What's that? 68 now. So 7 more years.
7 years. Damn.
Wow. I'll be 34. Hopefully, have a child by then and a wife.
have a job and a family.
Have my life settled out.
What's your biggest hot take in the NFL?
That Haskins one was pretty good, though.
That Haskins one was good. What's that other one? Give us one more.
All right. Hottest take right now?
Yeah, in the NFL. Or sports, whatever. We'll give you a hot take anywhere.
Anywhere. Okay. Well, I'll keep it NFL related. All right. I got plenty of these, but right now I was just thinking, I think that Nick Chubb will have a better career than Saquon.
Wow.
I like that.
Let's go.
I love Nick Chubb.
Remember that.
I pick him in every league. I love Nick Chubb.
Chubb is a workhorse, man. He is tough as nails. I think he was – dude, I'd rather have him – I mean, I remember when the Patriots drafted Sony. I'm like, Chubb was available.
We drafted the wrong Georgia running back, man.
Right.
Yeah. I love that.
Legit.
I love that.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite Patriot on the team right now?
Ooh, good question. I love Jake Bailey.
Oh, punter.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad when people's favorite player is a punter.
MVP, dude.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Him and
Nick Folk. The special teams has been on point this year.
I love Matthew Slater forever. I have his jersey.
Yeah. Ooh, love it.
Who else? I have. I love. You know what? I have a big take for you. I love Jawan Bentley.
Okay.
I don't mind.
I'm a Winnow guy, so
yeah.
Oh, Winnow's great. Yeah.
Who's your least favorite player on the Patriots?
Or NFL.
Or NFL. We'll open it up to the NFL.
Ooh, good question. Who do I hate? Well, right now I don't hate this guy, but I'm very, very pissed off at
least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay, I can't say that.
You don't root for him.
Yeah, you don't root for him. You're kind of mad at him right now.
Oh man, that's a great question.
Rapid fire. First thought.
First guy that comes to mind. Okay, well, all right. I can't root for him though. That's the thing. Because right now I'm really pissed off at Zeke, but he's one of my favorite players. But I'm just fucking mad at him because he just really screwed me over in fantasy this year. Who I hate? Okay, here's one. Tyreek Hill. I fucking hate that guy.
Oh,
Tyreek Hill. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. And you know what, dude? I'm sorry. I just can't stand Mahomes. Fuck him. He's too smug for me. I don't care.
Like
Chiefs. Kelsey too. The whole Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't like Kelsey. Kelsey is.
He's a poor man's Gronk. I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll never root for Kelsey. There you go. I can never root for him.
Yeah,
very frustrating player.
All right, that was rapid fire questions. Steve, when we're talking about you, where can they find you with the small state and your podcast and stuff?
Yeah, you can find me at the Twitter handle is at Small State Takes, and you can also find me at Stephen O. Scott on Twitter.
Awesome. Great podcast, great Twitter. I love the great interaction.
Very active Twitter.
Very active Twitter. Love it.
Yeah, all four of us are tweeting on there quite often, so the tweets just roll and roll all day.
I love it. I love it.
The goal is to hit 100,000 tweets within the next 2 years, and we're at 21K. But we're just trying to like that's like our been our hive mind goal to just be tweeting all the time.
I love it.
It's working.
I love it. And I we don't have to get too much into it, but big time hater of Savage Boston. What is it?
Oh, dude, get that guy.
You hate him.
Get after that guy.
Forget least favorite player in the NFL. That's your least favorite Twitter.
Easily. Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Fuck Savage Boston in the chat, dude. Dude, we had some traction going and they end up blocking us. And you know what? We won that war. I don't care.
You won it. I have to say you won it.
They don't like to admit it.
That dude's just a hypocrite, I swear to God.
Yeah, they don't want to admit it.
Huge hypocrite.
They're terrible.
He hates Boston teams. He's a hater of his own. Dude, root for your team or get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Phony.
I love it. Get him.
So we're gonna get to our next segment of the night. It came out, I think, last week. LeBron said on a podcast, not ours, so a little hurt about that.
LeBron, you're always welcome if you want to come on.
You're always welcome. Just forget we're going to trash your comment that you just made. He said that he won the 2 toughest championships in NBA history. I disagree completely. I guess you could say the Cleveland one was pretty tough, but the last one was definitely not the toughest championship in NBA history.
No.
So we just, I guess I forgot that when you have the 2 of the greatest players in the league on one team, it's a tough road. Playing against a guy that, like, I love Jimmy Butler, but he's no Anthony Davis or LeBron James. So, and they had a bunch of young kids. So I'm sorry. And also,
it's
2 of their best players were hurt.
He's always going to pump his own tires.
Yeah. So what we decided to do, I thought it was we always like fun games on this podcast.
We like fun. We're a fun podcast.
So we decided to say what are the top 3 hardest championships in NBA history? What do we think the toughest 3?
Do we want to go back and forth, or?
Yeah, we can. Did you rank them?
I ranked mine, yes.
Okay. So let's start with the 3rd toughest. We'll work our way down.
Okay.
3rd toughest championship in NBA history.
Does Rhode Island Steve have his 3?
Rhode Island Steve, do you have your 3?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I wrote down just 3 championships of all sports, and one was NBA.
Okay. I like that.
All right, I like it.
Okay.
The 3rd one that I had was the 2001 Lakers. Now, people are going to say, wait a minute, Big Red. That was the beginning of the Kobe Shaq era.
But Big Red, that was the beginning of the Kobe Shaq era.
And they dominated in that playoffs.
Oh.
Say that. So
that's crazy. Tell me more.
So while they dominated, they also played an unbelievably tough schedule. It was actually ridiculous looking at it. I think every team had over 50 wins. And they played like unbelievable teams. I'm trying to find the stalling. I had it up and then my thing closed out. So
Big Red, unprofessional.
You got this, Big Red. You got this.
Unprofessional. In front of the guests.
So they played the Trailblazers. Stop it. They played their opponents had a combined winning percentage 66.8% in the regular season. Trailblazers had 50 wins. The Kings had 55 wins. The Spurs had 58 wins, and the Sixers had 56. Well, people say like that's not one of the toughest. I think it was because looking at the teams they played, it was
the year Tim Don. What was the ref?
Yeah,
is that the one when he screwed them in the Western Conference Finals.
Who screwed the Spurs?
Kings?
The Kings.
They played the Spurs in the.
Okay, never mind. That I didn't know if that was one.
They played the Kings in the semifinals.
I was it then? That's it. What's his name? Tim Donahue.
Weber,
like that.
Tim Donahue and the Weber team with Doug Christie.
But they dominated that series. But looking at the teams they played, like that's a pretty impressive dominant win considering who they played. They only lost 2 games in that playoffs. But looking at the teams they played, I think it was an unbelievable run. So I'm going with 3. There.
I'm going to let Rhode Island Steve fire off his NBA one.
Yeah.
All right. My NBA one, believe it or not, is the 2004 Pistons.
That's my number 1, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Nice.
That was an honor.
Hell yeah.
Tell him why.
They had to beat Shaq and Kobe, who were, they weren't really. Kobe was still in his prime, but they had like Karl Malone. That was that team, right? It was
like 4 Hall of Famers on that team,
right? What's his face? That was an all defense.
Gary Payton.
Yeah, Gary Payton. Yep. Yeah. You had Rip Hamilton. They had Wallace. They had Tayshaun Prince.
Billups.
Ben Wallace, Rashid.
Billups, right? Sheed. Yep. So yeah, that was a squad, man. But tough fought year for the Pistons, man.
Huge win, man. That was a season removed from the Lakers 3-peat, and they were just the new bad boys, man. The new bad boys. I love that team.
Love it. I love that pick. What was your third, Danny Football?
I went with the 2010 Lakers that
do it
beat
to me.
The Celtics.
Yeah.
They did luck out with no Perk. Steve's been on record of telling Perk to his face they would have won the championship with him.
Yep.
But I
agree.
I think the mental hurdle of the Lakers overcoming that 08 loss is huge because they knew KG and Pierce and Allen were the boogeymen, and they still beat them 4-3 in a huge comeback in Game 7.
I hate that you chose that game. I really do. Now, looking at it, we don't like to have repeats, but I think we're going to both be in agreement with number 2. And I'll take this one for you, Danny.
Yeah,
Football.
take the head, man.
We went with Mavs 2011 championship over the Heat.
Great one.
This is one of in my lifetime, I guess my number 1 was in my lifetime, but in my lifetime, this was one of the most
impressive
impressive
see this one coming,
wins ever.
This was supposed to be the Heat's championship on a platter.
Easily.
And I almost went Spurs for my third one, the 2014 Spurs, because they played tough opponents and they ended the Heat era, plus the mentality of blowing that game the year before and then coming back to win. I almost picked the Spurs. I kind of like the Spurs more than my Lakers pick, but oh well. The Mavericks had to play the Trailblazers, who had 48 wins, but once they had that, they had to beat the Lakers, Kobe Lakers, with 57. They had to beat the Thunder with a young KD and Westbrook. And
Harden, I think. Was Harden still there?
Harden.
Or did Harden leave after? No, Harden left after the championship.
No, so that was the year before. So Harden would have been there still.
There you go.
And then of course they had to beat the big 3 of Wade, Bosh, and LeBron, and basically did it with Dirk. They had
Terry.
They had great role players on that team, but one superstar, which is pretty impressive. I love Dirk. He's one of my favorite players. And that was just one of the toughest roads. And doing it with one superstar beating 3 superstars is pretty unbelievable. So I went I think you went the same thing, Danny.
Yeah, Mavs.
Went Mavs in 2011.
Steve, what do you got for your out of NBA ones?
All right, so the Pistons were going to be my number 2 championship. That was the hardest road to a championship. All right, but my number 3 one, but of difficulty, was the 2006 Cardinals for baseball
over the Tigers.
Yes,
that was a tough one. They had a great rotation.
They did. They had Verlander. They had Kenny Rogers at the time. The Tigers did.
Did they have Scherzer then?
No,
that was before pre-Scherzer years.
Yeah,
they had Nate Robertson.
I think Anibal Sanchez may have been on that team. I can't remember.
No, I don't think he was yet. I think he was on the Marlins then.
Okay.
I love that Tigers team, man. I was a low-key Tigers fan back then, and that was crazy.
Miggy?
Yep.
Yeah, Miggy was there, and then the Maglio Ordonez hit the walk-offs to get the series.
Yep. Maglio Ordonez was a tank back then.
Absolutely. Carlos Pena at first. That was a crazy team.
Yeah. And you think back to like prior to that, too, they played that Mets team. I'm pretty sure that's when Andy Chavez made that catch, that ridiculous. Remember that ridiculous catch over the wall? He had his head over the wall.
Yes.
Billy Wagner was in that Mets team too. They had to go against. That was the first year.
Jim Leyland too.
Yeah,
Jim Leland, I love too. He was a great manager.
he was.
What was your number one? What's your number one championship of all time?
My number one unlikely hardest road was the 2001 Patriots.
That's true. They beat the greatest show on turf. Like that was a good one.
And the snow kick, man.
Exactly. That's what I wrote down. The tuck rule plus the snow kick. And then they play the Steelers in the AFC Championship, who were pretty tough. And then, and by the way, Brady got hurt in that game. They had Bledsoe play.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. That's right.
Right. And then Belichick has to make the choice who he wants to be the quarterback. They puts Brady out there. He goes out there and beats Kurt Warner. Greatest show on turf. Most unlikely, hardest road, I would say.
I like that.
Shout out to former guest in front of the show, Lonnie Paxton, for the kick the couple game-winning kicks and the snow kick and all that good stuff. He was
that might not be talked about enough, dude. Blizzard in the first game, and then
Brady gets hurt.
Back and forth on the quarterback in the AFC Championship game, and then arguably the best team ever against you in the Super Bowl.
And that's just the start of his legend, of Brady's legend.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. And that last drive, that's one of the most talked about drive.
Right.
Danny Football, what did you do for number one?
My number one was the 04 Pistons.
Okay. For the same reasons.
I couldn't, 4-1, man, against Shaq and Kobe. I mean, they had no business beating that team, and they just beat the shit out of them, man.
I'm with you. I went a little old school on this one. I went the 95 Rockets. And they beat the Magic, the Shaq Magic. Fresh off the years of Jordan. They had to beat Stockton and Malone. They had to beat Barkley on the Suns. They had to beat David Robinson in the Spurs, and then they had to play Shaq.
Goddamn.
Shaq.
Final boss.
And Hakeem was it was up for grabs after Jordan retired. So
that was one of the
Hakeem took it by the horns.
Whoever wants it can have it, and then Jordan came back in '96. Right.
Hakeem took it by the horns, and if you think about it, some of the greatest players, Hakeem's one of the greatest centers of all time, and you think about we'll look at Barkley. He never won a championship. He's one of the greatest power forwards. So, he took control, and they had a tough road in that championship.
He did. I hate to say goodbye, but I have to go. It's been a pleasure, my friends. And
hey, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Steve. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, guys. This has been fantastic.
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy. So that was nice to have Steve on. He's taking a class right now, so he had to take off. Again, you can find the podcast Small State Big Takes. You can find him on Twitter at Small State Takes, or find him on any streaming services. Give him a listen. Listen to my episode too. That's always a fun one. They great guys over there. And he has a great name too. Heck of a name. Again, that got no laugh whatsoever. that
I had the most silent laugh of all time.
I get it because your name is also Steve. I get it.
That joke hey, I just defended you in our fantasy football group chat. I don't
Sorry.
You should be dying laughing at every one of my jokes. So before we get into people's topic, we do have a segment that we have to get to.
We're back after a 1 week cancellation.
We took a brief break.
We got canceled, but we're back.
2 minutes for roughing. Cue the intro.
Hit my music.
Empty net for BC. Cangelosi on the draw. Cleared out of the zone for UMASS Lowell. You can call it a dynasty. The Riverhawks are Hockey East champions for the third time.
All right, you know how it works, Brad. Get your little timer ready.
I've got the timer ready. Hold on. No, I got the stopwatch. I need the timer. Timer.
2 minutes exactly. 2 minutes. 120 seconds.
It is not going to go any more or less than 2 minutes.
You guys know how it is. I either recap Lowell hockey, Hockey East, or college hockey in a whole. But we got Lowell hockey this week. We're back. The Riverhawks are back.
All right, you tell me when you're ready. I'm going to
go 3, 2, 1. All right, everyone. My Riverhawks, your Riverhawks, our UMass Lowell Riverhawks returned this Sunday against the Providence Friars, and they lost 4-2. A lot of bright points, though. A lot of break points. We had a 1-0 lead. Big Red, we had a 1-0 lead after one period, and then it was 1-1 after two, and then we jumped to a 2-1 lead to start the third period, and then things kind of went off the rails. We gave up 3 unanswered goals, but there was a lot of promise. This was our first game of the season. Providence has already played 3. I was impressed. Big Red, with our freshman goalie, Logan Neaton, despite the 4 goals in the loss. He looked really good.
Despite letting up 4 goals.
Well, let me tell you why. It's because UMass Lowell is goaltender university. Bar none, we have the best goalies, and Connor Hellebuck just won the Vezina, so he's the best goalie in the NHL right now. UMass Lowell alum. So UMass Lowell falls to 0-1, first game of the season. I'm not too worried about it. Providence improves to 1-2. They're nothing too special. This is where we turn it around, Big Red. This Saturday, 6 p.m., Lowell, Massachusetts, in the cathedral of college hockey, the Tsongas Arena, we host the University of Maine Black Bears.
Let the people know.
And we are going to bury UMaine and get this national championship season started. Guaranteed. Book it. Let's go, UMass Lowell. We got this, baby.
Or the game's going to get canceled.
No, please don't cancel the game. This is the last thing I need, man. We just got back, and we're going to lose it again.
How excited were you for UMass Lowell hockey?
So I'll tell you how excited I was with 15 seconds left. The stream wasn't working, so I played the audio from the Lowell radio network and then just put up the stats on the TV.
You were there first. The stream was broken, so we drove all the way to Lowell and peeked in through the window for the entire hockey game.
I'd do it in a heartbeat. And that was 2 minutes for roughing.
Great, as always.
The alarm sounds so rude.
It's like that, when in those cartoons when they stick the cane out and they like pull the person off. That's what that alarm is. 2 minutes for roughing. I know it's Danny Football's favorite segment of the
comes and goes.
So we look forward to it every week. Without further ado, let's get into our last segment of the show, the People's Topic. It's the People's Topic, baby! People's Topic. As always, you can write in at our Instagram or Twitter at Big Red Zone. Give us a follow. You can also find us on YouTube. Type in Big Red Zone, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment, a review on Apple Podcasts, and tell a friend, please.
Just one single friend.
Without further ado, producer John, take it away.
Shout out everyone that put a question, because I think I posted it maybe an hour ago because I forgot.
Our dedicated fans.
Fans. I know one fan that's in there.
You probably know 3 of them, for being honest.
Yeah.
First one, at P Willis 17 on Instagram.
No.
I know every time I say her name, there's always some sort of reaction from the boys.
Me and Paige are mortal enemies, and yet we're somehow going to get married in a couple of years. So.
Book it.
I can't wait. Can I be the...
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Are the Celtics going to start off strong?
Paige, 100%. Coming in with a banger.
100%. Best question Paige has ever said on the podcast. The Celtics are going to open this season on fire. Guarantee it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Tatum's about 7 feet tall now, and he's going to be hitting every three. He's going to be driving. He's going to be unbelievable. The guy I'm most excited for, we didn't get to talk about it today, but guy I'm most excited for, Tristan Thompson. Guy's going to be a beast. I love him more and more. Stop. I already said to Smiths.
It's going to be a hot start, and then Kemba's going to come back in January, and it's just going to be pedal down, baby. It's
going to be awesome. I can't wait. Jeff Teague's going to fill the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Rob Williams is going to take a big step forward. Mark my words.
Jalen Brown, big step forward. We'll go through the whole team.
Great question, Paige.
Great question.
Second question, at JRM1025. If you could start over knowing what you know now, would you have started the season with 4, assuming number 4 in Jared Stidham?
Oh.
Wow.
No. No. I don't know how much would have changed. I feel like the record would be the same.
I had a lot of faith in Jared Stidham, but if Bill doesn't trust Jared, then I don't trust Jared. So I
that's the biggest thing, man, is if Bill believed in him, he'd definitely be starting by now.
Yeah. I mean, if we learned anything, like he'll start with who he thinks is going to give him the best chance to win the football game.
Bill's seeing something in practice or the
He's too busy apple
practice
picking.
squad, and he's just not about it.
Yeah. I don't think it would have changed. If you asked me this a couple months ago, I'd say yes. After what I know from Bill, I do not think so.
At Anthony Ambrose 51, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl? Kind of already mentioned this when you're talking football, but reiterate it.
What do we got for our Super Bowl matchups?
I mean, I said it earlier. I'd like to see the Browns go there. I don't think they're gonna go all the way, but I'd like to see them go all the way.
I'm assuming it's going to be Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Saints.
Yeah, you kind of stole my pick, but I'll change it up so it's different. Because we don't. It's boring. It's bad.
I'm trying to think of who
bad
else
ratings.
I'm trying to think of who else in the NFC could possibly get there.
I'd love to see a nice, good old-fashioned Cleveland Browns versus Washington football team, but I don't think that's
Wow, what a Super Bowl that would be.
That would be an unbelievable Super Bowl. I'm going Chiefs Packers.
Ooh, okay.
Should I change the first team? No, Chiefs are going to make it. I don't think there's a chance.
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to make it, man.
Chiefs Packers. Packers win.
Ooh.
Aaron Rodgers MVP going to win it. Okay. Next question.
Oh, sorry, I zoned out.
I'm glad our conversation was that riveting that our producer zoned out of our.
I was figuring out my fantasy. I'm going through a fantasy football.
Producer John's just
You are going to this is a big week for you in fantasy playoffs, and that's a big time move. I wish you luck. I'm not paying attention to the group chat, but I wish you luck.
At Joseph_Celia, whoever this is.
The goat.
Love this guy.
Tell me your 3 favorite rivalries in sports.
Ooh. Well, let me first by telling you, I appreciate you following me on Instagram, Joseph Celia, my private account. Appreciate it. It was a very nice day when I saw that follow request. Biggest rivalry in sports: Celtics Lakers got to be one.
That's a good one.
Red Sox Yankees got to be another one. But feel free to jump in there. I got
You named the top 2 ones. I'm gonna go Michigan, Ohio State.
That's a good one.
Bruins, Canadians is always a bloodbath. And then I'll say, man, I'll go boxing. I'll go Ali and Frazier.
Ali and Frazier.
Hell of a rivalry there.
One.
Mine would probably be
Here comes a wrestling one.
BSU,
I think I know what it's going to be.
BSU Bears versus Salem State University, whatever there.
BSU Bears tennis versus
Who was their rivalry?
Our tennis rivalry was Rick.
Okay. Oh, that would
college. That's a good rivalry.
My second one is Jake Paul and Nate Robinson.
Oh my God.
And my third one is Big Red Zone and Small State Big Takes.
He's manufacturing a rivalry. He's manufacturing
no rivalries here. We love our guests. We don't want to start talking trash to the guy that was just on our podcast. Literally
I'm just
10
kidding.
minutes ago. We love one of our biggest friends.
I'm just trying to start some drama. Look at us, some views.
I was waiting for a John Cena, Randy Orton rivalry out of John.
That's a good one.
Should have went with that one.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so stupid.
You know what's even worse? Not knowing the rules of the waiver pickup situation in the biggest week of fantasy football.
I guess not.
Is that the last one?
I thought you guys were still going. Yeah, that's the last one.
Well, I need one more rivalry. Right?
Rudolph and all the other reindeer.
Oh, honestly, dude, they shit talked him a lot.
What was it? The Miser brothers. They were big rivals.
That's a
the
good
summer
one.
guy and the winter guy. That's a big rivalry.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it was summer and winter, as it was more just like heat and
cold.
Heat and cold.
Summer and winter.
Well, it was the South Pole and the North Pole. That was like the two.
Is that what it was?
I thought one of them was Jack Frost.
No, because the North Pole's not hot.
No, it was Winter Miser and
Is there Winter Miser?
Yeah, it was the Miser
like,
brothers.
Yeah, but I thought it was just like heat. I don't know. Yeah, look it up. I could be wrong.
Heat Miser.
I've been wrong before. Doesn't happen a lot, but
Heat Miser. Oh, I know he's right.
It's Summer Miser.
I don't know what the other one.
It's Heat Miser.
It's Heat
Oh,
Miser.
I told
I'm trying to figure out what his
Cold
brother's
Miser
name is.
probably.
Hold on.
Snow Miser.
Snow Miser. There we go.
That makes sense.
Stepbrother or paternal twin brother. His mother was Mother Nature, and his stepbrother is North Wind.
Wow, didn't know that.
Wild.
All right, so that was people's topic.
Jeez.
I have one more because we didn't get to talk about it. Real quick predictions. This comes from Big Red himself. Where do we think James Harden's going? Because he said he wants to trade.
Oh man, he's gonna end up in Philly, and I'm gonna be sad about it.
I honestly have no clue where he's gonna go. If you made me pick a team, I couldn't pick a team. I really don't know. It depends on who's offering what.
Hear me out. Giannis doesn't sign his extension, and he goes to Milwaukee.
I could see that. I mean, I feel like you don't make that trade unless you're getting Giannis long term. No, I feel like they wouldn't sign him a trade for him unless they got Giannis long term. I think.
Then I'm going to stick with Philly.
Yeah, either one's not good with me. So I don't know. I really couldn't tell you where he's going to go. I'm thinking maybe the Heat. I don't think he's going to Brooklyn. I think I'll go Bucks. I think the Bucks I think that makes sense. You talked me into it. I think the Bucks. So that was people's topic. You can run in every week at Big Red Zone on Instagram or Twitter. Feel free to write anything. Make sure you hit a like button on this video as well as all our other videos, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Give us a comment in the Apple review on the Apple podcast, and tell a friend. That's it for this episode of Big Red Zone. I want to thank Danny Football
Peace out.
And producer John, also Steve from Small State Big Takes. Thanks for listening, and have a great week, everyone.